What are you afraid of? I'll tell you what I'm afraid of. Children's books.
The Little Princess.
Tim, I think it's called Tim.
The name of the book is like Alive.
The Holy Bible.
I think Secrets.
It's like a Chinese zombie movie.
The Ugly Chinese.
The Little Prince.
The Bible.
水浒传.
I completely ignored books until I was like 21.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Children's author Roald Dahl wrote back in a time when things were just unacceptable. Recently, his estate and publisher have decided to, let's say, remaster his books so that they're more safe for the children of today. We asked the gang at the Chongqing Comedy Club to weigh in and tell us what books scared them as a child.
It was about a man named Stan who sold hot dogs when he retired. As I got older, I began to think that book was sad because you can only realize your dreams after you retire from a job that you hate for 25 years when you're an old person.
I think it's a perfect metaphor for man and the woman's relationship, and it's sad. So that's why I think it's not it traumatized me a lot, actually.
A person that have a best friend, and after many years, he found out actually this best friend is actually just imaginary friend.
We have a lot of, how to say, propaganda, and we have a lot of bad propaganda.
And I just like grew up picking up street wisdom from the homeless people and the shopkeepers from the shops that I stole from.
Because my parents have a lot of adult books in the home, so I accidentally read them. And it's scary because this is the first time I find a lot of truth about being Chinese.
I remember it so clearly because the little prince, he died after the end. He died.
It helps me to think about the law of attraction to the universe. And somewhat it scares me because I know maybe I'm not trying to imagine my future bad enough.
When I was a kid, I was just quite scared by like the figures, you know, like the bloody head.
The Book of Revelation scared the crap out of me. The thought of going to hell while already being in hell.
These traditional Chinese fictions, really typical, really classic ones, some of them are really, you know, terrifying.
The book that scared me as a child actually was a Roald Dahl book. The sequel to Willy Wonka, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator.
Yeah, that is like, for me, when I think of kids' books, it's all Roald Dahl.
So some people with very ancient Chinese costumes, and they'll just like pop up in the darkness. The book is somehow bragging about this spirit, about eating people.
Monsters aren't always the thing that scares us, even as children. It's often much more existential.
The unknown. Yeah. Because I am afraid something that I don't know.
A perception of himself, he sees as another person. And in the end, he found out he actually doesn't have that best friend.
Maybe because it's not a book for children, so it is the first time like all my fairy tale in my childhood fell apart.
They put those books on the list for us on the must-reading list. So you have to read them. It's in our, you know, in our principle, in this principle of schools.
The most scary thing is people. Yeah, especially like family members or friends. You know, sometimes people, like friends, can be your enemies.
Actually, a lot of traditions that my parents told me was actually not so good.
Maybe your mother's not always going to take care of you, or your dad's not always in control, or someday someone might not love you.
I was like 7 or 8. For me, as a child, when I was 8 or 9, it was
horrible. In primary school, I think 7 or 8.
It was like about 15 to 16. That's the time when you start making friendship, and then you find out, oh, are they real?
Or you have to get a job.
I would hope that I could realize my dreams before then when my body still works.
Roald Dahl's books are creepy, and the man himself was an anti-Semitic jerk.
He was surrounded by romanticized ideals of the British Empire and going and serving your country, and I think it was just of its time. And I think rather than try and rewrite it, we can learn from it and be like, this was what people thought, and this is now unacceptable.
In my childhood was a mixture of racism and religion was taught to me, and that can fuck up anyone.
Children deserve some credit. If we give them a safe space to grapple with these difficult ideas, I think we'll all be better for that. Does it affect how you behave as an adult?
Yeah, I think so, because just in what I talk about in the show, I have zero communication ability with female. I don't know how to deal with them, but I kind of learned something from that. You should respect females no matter what.
I have 2 tattoos of the Little Prince, so I think so. It changed my life.
I know it's a good book, it's a great fiction, but I just can't stand that kind of violence, especially to a child.
If you want to force your kids to do anything, force them to like and subscribe to whoopwu. Check us out for more Chongqing Comedy Club content.
I did read The Outsider.